Hey everybody, welcome back. This is a grocery budget challenge. This would be week 4 in my series. So if you're following along, all the weeks are connected and everything's carrying over. So this would be the final week of this set of budget challenges. So if you missed any of my other ones, I can link those below. Otherwise, we're going to jump right into this. $10 for 21 meals, one person eating for the entire week. These are all the items I picked up. I had to get them through the pickup order. I couldn't go inside for these, so I just took a screenshot of what I grabbed. So I got bread, corn tortillas, eggs, cheese, lettuce, ground turkey that is taco seasoned already, and then a pack of taco seasoning. All of the items I bought for this week came to a total of $10.07. Up on the screen, these are our starting servings of the items I bought, and then these are the items that were carried over from week 3. To start this off, I just kept it really simple. There was cereal left from last week. There was milk left, so days 1 through 4 for breakfast are cereal and milk. For lunch, I kind of kept with the breakfast theme. I'm making bullseyes. They are just the bread with the hole ripped in the middle, and then you cook the egg in it. Everybody calls them something different. Let me know what you call them in the comments down below. I always think it's really interesting. Everybody just has a different name for these. You know, really simple to make. Little butter in the pan, rip the hole in the bread, throw your eggs in the middle, and then just cook it to the desired doneness that you like. It's a filling meal and it's satisfying, I think, because it's warm and gooey and it feels like comfort food. So I really think that this is a great meal that kind of probably gets overlooked because it's so simple. I did this for days 1 through 4. All right, so with this challenge, I set it up so that it was going to be a whole month of meals. And one of my wants for this challenge, for how I did it, was to end up having tacos at some point. If you've seen my videos, you know I love tacos. If you haven't seen my videos, I love tacos. And I really feel like in some of these challenges, it gets just so boring and mundane. So I was trying to do different meals and good meals, but I really just wanted to incorporate tacos somehow because I really like them. And even if I had little to no money to spend, I still would like to enjoy the things that I like. So that was my goal with all of this, is to end up during one of the weeks having tacos. So it's week 4. It was like pedal to the metal here, and I was trying to figure it out. This is what I came up with. So I made rice, and I just seasoned it with salt and pepper, and then I threw butter in there. I'm cooking up the taco meat. So this taco meat is already seasoned with... It wasn't taco meat, excuse me. It was ground turkey, and it was already seasoned with taco seasoning. So it was just a pound of, I think it's Festive brand ground turkey, and it's pre-seasoned. So even though it was pre-seasoned, I knew I was going to be adding these lentils to it. I used the lentils in weeks prior, cooked them all, and then I froze what I didn't use for the week that I was using them. I was planning on using them for this taco meat. So I dumped what I had left of the lentils in, which was quite a bit. And then I poured in the taco seasoning because I didn't think that what was on the turkey was going to be enough. I'm happy that the turkey had some just for that little bit of extra flavor. So when I make my taco meat, normally I always put it in the Instant Pot and let it pressure cook for like 10 minutes or 30 minutes, whatever I have time for. And then I take my immersion blender and I blend it because I don't like big chunks and I like everything more closer to like a paste consistency, which sounds really gross, but it's similar to like if you got meat at Taco Bell. It's that kind of consistency where it's, you know, there aren't any real big chunks of ground beef. All right, I'll shut up about taco meat now. I'm sure you guys don't care as much as I do. I made tacos for all 7 days for dinner. I was very happy to eat tacos for 7 days in a row. This was 3 tacos on the corn tortillas, lettuce, cheese, the meat, and the rice, and it was quite filling, and I was very happy with it. I just wanted to pop in and say thank you to everybody for clicking on my video. If you're liking what you see, go ahead and hook me up with a thumbs up. That lets me know that I'm doing a good job making the content that you like, so I can continue to do that. And if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button. That really helps my channel get out there to other people so more people can see this content. This is the midweek check-in. We're through day 4. And this is what's left. I just estimated the turkey and the cheese because it was about halfway through the week. It's going to end up being gone anyways, so those numbers don't necessarily matter. But everything else you can see up there for what we have left as of midweek. Days 5 through 7, I had oatmeal left from previous weeks. I've used oatmeal a few times. It's cheap and easy, so it's a good go-to. I have syrup and sugar that I picked up from a gas station, and so I just made this with those. That finished off my oatmeal, so I don't have that anymore. It was just simple. It was just sweet enough to be palatable. I did have more of the syrup and sugar, but, it was fine. It's just oatmeal. This was days 5 through 7. For these last 3 days for lunch, I kind of was, I don't know, I had to figure out something, and I didn't have anything specific. So I took 4 of the pieces of bread. I used the 2 ends that ordinarily, if I wasn't doing a challenge, I don't make it a point to eat those. They just, kind of sit around until my husband, he usually eats those on a sandwich or whatever. This is what I did. So I took the ends of the loaf of bread, I buttered them, and then I salt and peppered them. I also took 2 extra pieces of bread and did the same thing. I put them on this tray, and basically out of the ends, I toasted them for breadcrumbs, and out of the 2 pieces, I made croutons for a salad. So I threw these in the oven. I think I had it on about 200. I left them in for half hour or so and pulled them out. And then for these regular bread slices, I just took the knife and cut them into 9 pieces. In hindsight, these were kind of big, and my daughter commented too that they were kind of big for croutons. Maybe next time I do 12 pieces or 16 pieces. I'm not really sure. But I cut these up and threw them back on the pan and put them back in the oven for maybe another 20 minutes. Basically, I was just going for that nice brown color and that kind of crusty, like a crouton feel to it. Ovens vary, if you're making these, just do what you got to do for yours. But these took, maybe an hour total. I pulled these out, and that color on there, these were really good. They were crusty and they had a nice flavor to them. If I had the whole pantry that I was using for this challenge, I think I would have spiced it up with garlic and onion powder and maybe a little cayenne or something. But with just the salt and pepper and the butter, these were really good. All right, now I know you guys are sitting there. What is my point? I've been babbling about breadcrumbs and croutons. Who cares? I don't even have lunch started. So this is what's happening. I am first prepping the mashed potatoes, which is actually second because we already made the croutons and the breadcrumbs. I'm prepping these mashed potatoes. I had 6 servings left from week 3, and I'm just making those according to the box directions for instant mashed potatoes, but I'm not putting in the milk because I don't have any milk left for this challenge. I added in a little extra water because it needed that extra moisture and a little extra salt. For lunch for these days, I'm making potato cakes. It's leftover mashed potatoes, an egg that you beat, breadcrumbs, which is why we made the breadcrumbs. And then in the recipe, it had onion juice, I think it said. But I didn't have that, and I didn't want to use the onion powder because that wasn't one of my spices for this challenge. I just left it out. It wasn't a big deal. I crushed up this bread that I was using for the breadcrumbs. The middle of the bread was still kind of soft, so I probably should have thrown it back into the oven, but I didn't want to, so I just ripped the bread up into little pieces. It worked just as well. It wasn't a big deal. I should have cooked it longer though, and if I make these again in the future, I will cook the bread a little longer. Just something to note though, you want to make sure it's done in the center as well as the outside. Oh, I also found crushed red pepper, like the little packets that you get from a pizza place. I took a picture of it. I couldn't find it anywhere, so I'll just pop up a picture from the internet, but it was the same thing. It's just crushed red pepper flakes. So I threw those in there. I think that was really good. I like spice. You obviously don't have to do that if you don't want to, but it was just one of those little packets that I found, so it was kind of whatever. So while we've been talking and I've been mixing this up, I've had my oil heating up on the stove. I've got it on medium heat. It's just pan frying. I think I used canola oil, and I'm just throwing those in. You can tell it's not real bubbly. It's not quite hot yet, but it was fine. So I was making the patties. I threw them in the pan, and I was just cooking them until they were getting golden brown. I ended up having 2 batches of these, and this first batch got a little crispier than the second batch. I thought they were both really good though. The crispier ones tasted a lot like hash browns. And the ones that turned out not so crispy more had that like soft mashed potato inside. So any way you want to fry them, I think they're good. These were definitely something that I was surprised by because it's just mashed potatoes that are fried, but they were really good and I just wanted to keep eating them. Anywho, so lunch for days 5 through 7 was 3 mashed potato cakes and a salad with the lettuce that we had. It worked out great because that used up the rest of my lettuce. I used a little bit of cheese on it, and then I just did oil and salt and pepper, and then the croutons. And this was a nice filling meal. And let's not forget, we are eating tacos for dinner all week long. I was still happy with this. I think on a couple of the nights, I didn't even eat that. Like the potato cakes were very filling. These tacos and all the rice was very filling. So I definitely had more food than what I could eat. Here's a screenshot of what I have left for the week. It was bread, eggs, rice, and tortillas. This was week 4 of the challenge, my extreme grocery budget challenge. So with the ingredients you have left, you could loop right back around to week 1 and have a jump on those groceries. My thought process on this whole challenge was that if there was 4 weeks of, moderately different meals that you could eat, you could maybe do a whole month of a challenge like this and be satisfied enough to save the money or, be able to eat, because some people are doing this out of necessity, not just out of want of saving money. And if you did loop back around, the week 1 meals are different enough from the week 4 meals that it would be like, another week of new meals. And then you can get that jump on the groceries and you can, save a little bit of money depending on what your prices are, but you could add in a few more things if you wanted to. I did go through and check the prices. They did go up since then. Everything just keeps going up. If you guys are struggling with food insecurities, reach out. There are many resources to help. Definitely if you have access to the internet, go online and just search your local food pantries, search your churches. You can talk to your schools, and all of those places can at least direct you to somebody that can help you. Nobody should have to go hungry. So please reach out if you do need help. Thank you so much for watching my video. I really appreciate it. I hope this gave you some inspiration, and if you can drop me a comment and let me know what you thought, that would really help me out, and I will see you next time. Bye.